Moving to a more somber topic, we would like to remember legendary actress Diane Keaton. Her 50-year career spanned the heights of film and television, and today our sneak peekers want to memorialize her impact in the industry and to each of our lives.
Take it away.
Old New Hollywood. No, not that one. Too recent. Too old. That one. Is a greatly mythologized era in filmmaking canon. Spry young voices having grown up on classic Hollywood fare were finally given their chance to strut their own stuff on and off camera with daring, provoking, and anarchic offerings from once tight-laced studios. Many voices have etched themselves into the zeitgeist then and have yet to weather away. However, the 70s were 50 years ago, and many of these bright voices have sprouted silver hair and grown tired. In recent memory, acclaimed women such as Shelley Duvall and Jenna Rowlands have been among these new twilight waves of stars to leave us. And it is with a heavy heart that we remember that on October 11th, 2025, the one and only Diane Keaton passed away at age 79. Today, we honor and remember her place in pop culture, with less cavity cert jokes than Woody Allen did during his AFI tribute to her. From her theatrical beginnings on the original 1968 Broadway production of the provocative counterculture musical Hair, to her first nomination and one and only Oscar victory in 1977 for Annie Hall, to her ruminations on the afterlife that materialized as her directorial debut with the 1987 documentary Heaven, and diving into voice work as Dory's mother in 2016's Finding Dory, Diane Keaton lived not to act in or tell, but live stories. It is to our great pleasure that she lived a life in work. Now, understand that no matter what her name reads, Diane Keaton is spelt range. As an off-kilter comedian in films like Manhattan Murder Mystery and Book Club, she's an absolute riot with self-deprecating candor and warm stone faces. As a woman in self-destructive tailspin in films like The Godfather, 1 and 2, especially not 3, and Looking for Mr. Goodbar, Keaton can make you either completely empathize with despair for her gilded cages or make you bark at the screen to stand up for herself. Even behind the camera, Diane was a decorated director in her own, having directed documentaries, music videos, and narrative features. Keaton ran the gamut of acting know-how, but her wide range and extensive filmography should not off-put those unfamiliar with her game. For most filmgoers and directors agree that the definitive Keaton role is her Oscar-winning role in 1977's Annie Hall. Writer-director star Woody Allen had been in a relationship with Keaton prior to writing the script of a movie originally called Anhedonia, the clinical term for an ability to feel pleasure. The character of Annie Hall takes much from Keaton's actual life. Her name mixes her nickname and her actual last name. Personal brand, self-deprecating humor, awkwardness, brashness are shoddily androgynous garb. Allen's character, and by extension the entirety of the movie-going audience, immediately fell in love with her character. Her arc from bashful beholdens to Allen's coercions and belittlement to armed strength character, career woman fell in line with the new wave depictions of women in Hollywood in the wake of the women's liberation movement, with films like Wanda and An Unmarried Woman, which painted an uncertain, unshackled, yet audaciously hopeful future for women. Annie was just the most protracted and absurd rendition of these sentiments, tripping over herself with baggy chinos and yet laughing all the way down. Still, sticking Keaton with the burden of an era's entire feminist hit theory reappraisal comedy of one of the defining genres of old new Hollywood revolution, and Premiere calling this one of the greatest performances of all time out of the 70s into the rest of her career is, for whatever it's worth, doing a disservice. Although Keaton never strayed too far from those key facets that made her so endearing in 1977, she never stagnated, laughing into a pigeonhole and hearing nothing but applause echo back. Her personality was universal. Her eccentricity and sensibilities made her pleasant to listen and to watch. Her laugh was enough to make an entire room smile, and she knew exactly how to translate these facets into any project that she worked on and off screen. If Diane Keaton should stand for anything, she should be remembered as the exception to one of the myriad fibbing similes our parents tell us as children. She was that one unique snowflake caught in the wind, floating high above homogeneous mounds of snow on the ground. Mrs. Keaton, you will be missed. La-di-da, la-di-da, la-la. Yeah.